the Dallas Mavericks do make a move at the trade deadline as they trade for 15-year veteran J.J. Redick from the New Orleans Pelicans. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports, and catch me on the weekends on 105 through the Fan with my partner, the two-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold. J.J. Redick is now a member of the Dallas Mavericks, the 36-year-old, in exchange for James Johnson and Wes Iwundu, and a second-round draft pick comes along with Nicolo Melli, a fifth-string center, if you will, for the Dallas Mavericks now from the New Orleans Pelicans. J.J. Redick this year averaging 8.7 points per game, shooting only 36.5% from the three-point line in 31 games this year, had a non-surgical procedure to relieve inflammation in his right heel earlier in March, will now have an opportunity to try and make a playoff run with the Dallas Mavericks, a team who needed to acquire some additional shooting to go alongside Luka Doncic, and a team that has been shooting the ball extremely well from the three-point line during the second half of the year. So in essence, the Mavericks gave up basically nothing to acquire J.J. Redick. James Johnson, who came over before the season started, had a $16.5 million contract. That gets moved on now to the New Orleans Pelicans. Wes Iwundu, who came in as a little bit of a defensive specialist, did well in his role, but was expendable for the Dallas Mavericks, now moves on to the New Orleans Pelicans also. We saw throughout the day in the NBA trade deadline several moves that were made, including Victor Oladipo getting traded to the Miami Heat, Aaron Gordon being moved to the Denver Nuggets, obviously Rajon Rondo moving to the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for Lou Williams going to the Atlanta Hawks. The Dallas Mavericks were very quiet on the trade deadline and the trade front until the very last few moments of the trade deadline and extending past the trade deadline before news was made about a possible move that could be made, and this move inquiring on J.J. Redick. So J.J. Redick now, a longtime veteran in this league. Mark Cuban already making a statement about the acquisition of one J.J. Redick, saying, look, this is a guy who is providing great shooting for us, but more importantly, will also be a guy that provides us young mentorship toward our young guards for this young Mavericks basketball team. Donnie Nelson, even before the trade deadline, said, hey, we like our youngs and we like our young core that we have with this basketball team, a team trying to remain in terms of continuity moving forward, make a minor move to get J.J. Redick and move on from James Johnson and Wes Iwundu. What this means for the Mavericks going forward, obviously, it will remain to be seen how healthy J.J. Redick can get, still dealing with that particular injury with the inflammation in the right heel, the non-surgical procedure to relieve that inflammation. How quickly can he get himself into condition to help the Mavericks in the final 30 games of this season, where they are currently 23-19 and sit at 7th in the Western Conference right now as they are first place in the Southwest Division. How quickly can J.J. Redick get into the kind of condition that will allow him to be a contributing member for the Dallas Mavericks going forward for the rest of the year, because he is going to be needed not just from a veteran presence, but also his ability, obviously, to shoot the ball from the three-point line. As I mentioned, a 41.5% career three-point shooter in 15 years in this league. He's been around the playoff wars. He understands the nature of the grind and getting toward a playoff run, and will allow the Dallas Mavericks to have some flexibility as far as minutes are concerned. What will that mean for minutes for a guy like Trey Burke? Could you see his minutes possibly be reduced with the acquisition of J.J. Redick? That remains to be seen also. So some tweaking of rotations for Rick Carlisle as far as his basketball team is concerned, and what they do with J.J. Redick coming into this lineup. But more importantly now, you added more shooting to a basketball team that continued to need it. Obviously, you got a guy, Maxi Kleber, who's shooting well over 40% from the three-point line. Dorian Finney-Smith during the second half of the year shooting the ball a little bit better from the three-point line. And obviously, Luka Doncic continuing his second half surge beyond the arc, and how he has continued to shoot the ball well from the three-point line. So now, again, adding a veteran presence, yes, in a minor move, but veteran presence, leadership, and the ability to shoot the ball from the three-point line. In today's NBA, shooting comes at a premium, and when you have an opportunity, even at a guy at 36 years of age, a 15-year veteran in this league, and you have the opportunity to acquire J.J. Redick, it sounds like the Dallas Mavericks felt that was premium to do so going into the second half of the year, where the schedule eases up quite a bit. They're going to be playing the Pelicans here very soon. Actually, they're going to be playing them on Saturday. So the J.J. Redick former team of the New Orleans Pelicans will have an opportunity to see him? Maybe. Probably not. We will see, though. But at the same time, it is ironic that the Dallas Mavericks will be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans in short order right after the trade deadline. They do come home to take on the Indiana Pacers on Friday as they get ready for their one home game before going on their own for the next 5 road games. But more importantly, at the NBA trade deadline, the Dallas Mavericks make the kind of acquisition that they felt that they needed to make. Maybe not necessarily that the move that a lot of Dallas Mavericks fans were hoping, especially when you saw how cheap Victor Oladipo went for a guy in Avery Bradley, a guy in Kelly Olynyk, and a pick swap, and how Pat Riley fleeced the Houston Rockets in order to acquire Victor Oladipo. Evan Fournier not moved to the Dallas Mavericks. It only took 2 second-round picks for the Boston Celtics to acquire a guy in Evan Fournier. Yes, owed $18.7 million, but at the same time was shooting over 38% from the three-point line, having a career year for the Orlando Magic. And obviously the Magic going with their complete fire sale that they did, getting rid of Aaron Gordon, Nicolo Vucevic, and Evan Fournier. Also, the Orlando Magic going into full rebuild mode and a youth movement with guys like Markelle Fultz and others still remaining in Orlando. But more importantly, for the Dallas Mavericks, a move was made. The Mavericks were trending not well on Twitter because of the lack of movement that you saw from them during the early portion of the trade deadline. But at the same time, they do make a move to acquire 15-year veteran J.J. Redick for his services now going into the final 30 games of this year, formerly of the New Orleans Pelicans, Nicolo Melli, a guy who will be a fifth-string backup for this Dallas Mavericks team. Not expected to see much time on the floor at all in terms of his role on this basketball team. So basically, you acquired J.J. Redick for nothing. You gave up James Johnson, you gave up Wes Iwundu, and you have an opportunity now to get a veteran in here with some experience, obviously, with his ability to shoot the ball from the three-point line and the veteran presence and leadership that hopefully he will provide once he gets healthy, gets his conditioning up, and then is inserted into this rotation, and how Rick Carlisle will work him into the rotation. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to subscribe to the Kevin Gray Sports YouTube channel here, and you can catch me on the weekends with my partner, the two-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold, on 105.3 The Fan. This has been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.